I am actually doing a sewing project. I know I keep saying I'll do a sewing project eventually and then I just never get to it. Well, you know what? I'm gonna do it because I bought the fabric and I bought a pattern on Etsy. So I gotta do it now because I spent money on it. Also, are you subscribed to my channel? Because if you are not, please hit that subscribe button. In the analytics part of YouTube, I can tell that a lot of people who watch my videos are not yet subscribed. Maybe you just don't know that you're not subscribed or you're new here. So please hit that subscribe button. My goal this year is to get to 75,000 subscribers. 100,000 would also be great, but I am being realistic here and 75 is a good number for me. So please subscribe. This is a sewing project and my idea is I'm going to sew myself a nice spring jacket. Now I've made jackets before. Actually, I did make a quilt coat back in 2021, right when that quilt coat phase was just starting. And now I'm actually seeing quilt coats in retail stores. Not making a quilt coat. I do have some nice blankets that eventually I would like to make into coats, but that's not what I'm doing. I'm actually going to be making a coat out of towels. You heard me right. Towels. Over the last year, I've wanted to make a coat out of towels. Unfortunately, every time I go to a thrift store, I can never quite find the right towels. And then when I do find the right towels, they're like too small or I only can find one. And then part of me is like, do I really want to cut into this because it's one of a kind? Well, you know what? I went to Winners the other day and I found the perfect towels. If you don't know what a Winners is, if you're not from Canada, it is basically a Marshalls and a TJ Maxx. What is it called in England? I'll put the name here. I can't remember. It's like something to do with TJ Maxx. Home Sense, Home Goods, all that stuff. I found these towels and I bought them because I'm like, they are adorable and I want to wear them. Want to know the towels I found? I found these towels. These beautiful towels, and I kind of regret not buying more of them to actually use as towels. They were $12.99 each. Also, I should clarify, I bought two of them. They also had other colors. They had ones where it was yellow and pink. They did have some beach towels that was like blue, but you know me, I love my yellow. I do also liked the yellow and pink. They were a bit more expensive. They were $20 each. So when I saw these that were $13, I'm like, that's a good price. Also, $13 for all of this material, that's a pretty good price. Like at Fabricland, for a meter of fabric, you have to pay like sometimes like $30 for a meter. The brand of this is called Tabitha Web. You know, if you're looking for them in your own stores, they're called Tabitha Web. Also, there was a bunch of these, so I want to say they are new for the springtime. Putting that out there. But anyways, look at how beautiful these are. They are so pretty. Also, really like the detailing. I'm describing a towel. Most of y'all know what towels look like. I like this part here. So I kind of want to make sure that when I make this project, I want to try to get this edge on the bottom, and then that way I don't have to put any bias tape or any trim. It's already done for me. So that's another reason why I like buying blankets or towels now for fabric, because the edges are already done for y'all. The jacket that I'm doing, I bought the pattern a while ago because I was gonna make a jacket a while ago and then I didn't, but now I am, thank goodness. And I bought the pattern when it was on sale. I will be putting the pattern in the description below if this is something you also want to make. I don't think it was a very expensive pattern. I'm pretty sure that this pattern is made for you to make it out of a blanket. So it's very straightforward. I think there's like two front pieces, a back piece, two sleeves, and of course like a collar. And I think for the collar, what I might do, the same way that I did that one jacket, kind of a jacket that I made out of a thrifted crochet blanket, is I think I might just get like maybe a row of this, just cut a big rectangle and have that draped as the collar. There we go. You see the fabric. I have my serger now with the towels. Sometimes it might do a little bit of weird stuff on the edges. I can serge that up, no problem there. I might just sew the whole thing on my serger, besides a few things that I'll probably have to do on my sewing machine. We'll see how it goes. There's this. I still have to print out and cut the pattern out, but that will happen eventually. So yeah, hopefully this turns into a really cute jacket. I'm actually going to be doing this in 3 parts, like 3 days. Day 1, I'm cutting out, well, day 1, I obviously printed out the pattern. I'm going to cut out the pattern and then I'm going to tape it together and then that's it. That's all I'm doing. Because here's the thing, when it comes to sewing, I can only do so much. Otherwise, I get a headache and then I don't want to do it anymore because I can't do it. I figure that if I do it in days, so today, cutting out, doing the pattern. Tomorrow, I'm going to then cut out the pieces with the fabric. So that's tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, I'm going to then sew everything together. And if I get a little frustrated, then maybe I'll leave a little bit more of that to Thursday. But I want to get this project all done, completed by Friday. And I feel like if I have a plan, hopefully everything will work out in the plan. So I'm now going to cut the pieces out. I do have my laptop. As you can see, this gives me the pieces to make sure I put them in the right spot because I'm the worst at that. Fun fact, the printer I have is literally the worst printer ever. It's an HP, and I've had an HP printer before. I got it when I got my very first laptop in 2009 when I went for college, okay? And that printer I used well over 10 years, okay? And then my sister got a printer on sale, whatever, it's still an HP. But no matter how much ink I buy, it acts like I don't have any ink in here. The reason why I had to draw out these lines in marker is because it said there's a certain marker that's like, you know, the size that I want wasn't visible. Like look at this. Okay, look, do you see that? I have brand new ink in the printer. Like, okay, it might be like 2 months old, but it's never been used and it's doing that. So I need to invest in a good printer. That's all I want, is just a printer where the ink works. Okay, so it is now Wednesday because yesterday I was so tired that I took a nap for like 3 hours and then I didn't really want to do anything. So doing stuff now. I didn't realize how easy this was going to be. Like, okay, it's easy right now. Who knows where the next hour is going to take me. Anytime that I've had to make a pattern in the last 4 or 5 years, it's always been complicated. There's always been well over 10 pieces that I've had to cut out, like 10 different pieces that I had to cut out and figure out how to sew together. This project, there's only 3 pieces. There's only 3 pattern pieces. I should say 3 pattern pieces. There's more pieces. This is the front piece. I have to make 2 of those. This is the sleeve. I have to make 2 of those. And this is the back piece, and I have to fold it on the edge and cut out 1. I might add some pockets, but not where they want me to add pockets. They want me to add the pockets like up here, but I'd rather have the pockets like lower that I can like put my hands in or like put a phone in kind of thing. That's something that I'm gonna have to figure out. I cut out the extra large pattern because I like an oversized garment, but also because it is like this towel material, I feel like it will be a little bit thicker, and if I make it too small, it's just going to be uncomfortable, and I'm not going to wear it, and then I would have to take it all apart and probably just make towels with it. A bunch of towels, a bunch of washcloths, and small hand towels is where this project will go if it doesn't turn into the jacket that I want it to be. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to figure out what I have to do. Time to cut the front pieces. I want this to be on the edge where I can attach the zipper and I won't have to really deal with the fraying. You get it. Also, for anyone who sees this, it's to remind me that I have to buy magnets. Did a little try on, and because my printer's ink, my ink in the printer wasn't great, I think I need to make a little bit of an adjustment. This to here, great. It just lengthwise, not so much. Like that, and this down like that. All the pieces are cut. Now I'm going to pin them together. The thing about a towel is that you see this tag right here? I know that that's the bad side or not the great side. They look exactly the same, but it's nice to see something that I can distinctly see that is one of the sides. Now I'm going to take it to my serger serge this up. No matter how many times I'm like, you know what? I should give sewing another chance. I should stop listening to myself because guess what? My serger stopped working. Stopped working. That pedal, nothing. It's connected, because if it wasn't connected, the light wouldn't be on. And like the light is inside on, and I don't think it's supposed to be on. The door's shut. I don't know. Do I hit it a few times? Well, I don't understand. I don't understand. I am so mad. I am seething right now. Because you see this little tiny piece, this little insignificant piece. Want to know why it wasn't starting? Look at this. Oh. This little. I figured out what was wrong with this machine. One, it's made out of plastic, so if you're gonna buy a sewing machine, I know this is a serger, but if you're gonna buy a sewing machine, you're thinking about buying a sewing machine, buy something made out of metal. Okay, that is a tip. Please abide by that. Anyways, what was wrong with the machine? Let's get a closer look at that. Okay, we're gonna turn it on. First off, I have the worst luck with opening and closing this door. I have to like open it properly so it doesn't jam. What's supposed to happen is when you open it up, this light is supposed to turn on. This little tiny, almost insignificant little tiny piece of plastic snapped off. Where it snapped off, I don't know. It has to do with this little thing here. And what would happen is I would close it up and this light wouldn't shut off. And because this light wouldn't shut off, the pedal wasn't working. See this? I'm gonna put this. Shuts the light off. Pedal works. Pedal doesn't work. Pedal works. I don't know where this broke off. It was probably like this, and I snapped it off somehow. I don't even know where. Like, I don't even see a seam. So my idea is I am just gonna keep this in there from now on, and if I need the light on, pull it out. But for the most part, it's staying in there. And if I lose it, it's a little tiny piece of plastic. I'll get a little piece of wood. I'll get a little piece of metal. I don't care. I'll jam something in there to make it work. So there we go. Problem solved. Now I can actually start working on the project. The amount of time that it took me to figure out what was wrong with this machine, project would have been done. The project would have been done. Mine is the zipper just because I don't have the zipper yet. The collar, I probably could have got the collar done. That's not happening today. Then what's going to happen today? I'm going to serge it all together. I have to do it. And then tomorrow, that's when I'll worry about the collar. That's when I'll worry about the zipper because I got to buy the zipper still. But for right now, I'm just going to serge the sides together and call it a day. This is what it's looking like so far. I have not put the collar in yet. I have not put the zipper in yet. How I feel about it, I mean, it does look really cute. Down here, they didn't really line up as much as I would like them to. I went to Fabricland with this swatch. I bought this off-white zipper. I did want to get more of a yellow, but they only had like a neon yellow. Not really it. But this is actually like an off-white, and I think that would look good because this white, it is kind of white, but I wanted it to be like an in-between of, like if you put this yellow and this white together, you're kind of gonna get this color. I also bought this bias tape, and what I'm gonna do with this is I'm actually gonna put it on the collar. So I'm gonna put it on the collar because what I would have loved is if the collar could have also had this trim on the edges too, but I've used it all up. It's already been used. It's on the bottom of this and on the cuff. It's almost the same color, not exact. I didn't think I was gonna find the exact same color, but it's close enough. And then I did buy this thread, which matches that. I wasn't too sure if I had this thread. I know I have like a yellow, but I think it's a little bit more yellow. And this one, I was able to compare it to the bias tape in the store to like make sure it matches. I'm going to do the collar first. I do have to cut out the collar pieces now. However, I just want the collar pieces so then that way I can line it up with the roundness of the neck right here. But I want the outside to be more square. And then I am gonna add the zipper. And then I remembered that I was thinking about putting pockets. Maybe if I decide to put pockets in, something like that, and then just put bias tape down here, here, and here. We'll see how frustrating the collar goes. We gotta get that done first, and then we can put the zipper in. And if the zipper and the collar go on nice and smoothly and it's good to go, then I'll do the pockets. But if I'm having a hard, frustrating time with those two things that should not take that much time, like you saw what happened yesterday, then I will not be putting pockets in today because I don't want to get overly frustrated. So that's where I am right now. Already ran into my first little hiccup. I just realized I bought single folded bias tape. I need double folded bias tape. I've decided that I'm actually going to use this white bias tape because it's thicker to use. It matches the white in the flower, so it's fine. It's what I'm going to have to do now. I decided that I am gonna put pockets. I just thought that they would look better. I did try it on with the pockets because I wasn't too sure where I wanted to. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, what am I breaking? Sewing is so frustrating. This is why I don't do it. Anywho, so I wasn't too sure if I wanted to put the pocket here or here, and I've decided that I'm gonna put the pocket like this. Now, before I can do the pocket, I am gonna have to serge up these edges, and then I am gonna add this white bias tape around the edges so it looks a little bit neater, and I'm gonna pull that up just a little bit. So it's gonna kind of go like this and just kind of sit nicely at the bottom. I'm gonna get this done today. I remember why I don't do sewing projects anymore, because I get really angry. Really angry. But anyways, it is done. It's done. I can say that. I'll do a spin. Okay, here it is on the back. And then here's the side. And here's the front pockets. And then here it is unzipped. Although I've had, troubles with this, it did do a really nice job with the inside here of it not having to fray, and that's kind of another thing that was hindering me from making projects. It's just, well, I want to make something, but then the edges are gonna fray, and I just don't want to do a zigzag stitch because I know I could do a zigzag stitch with this, but I just didn't like it. So the more I look at this jacket, the more I realized I did a pretty good job. The other thing that I noticed is that I kind of wish that these were opposite, like how it is, but you know what? I'm not going back. This is how it's gonna be now. I should have foreseen what I was doing, but I don't. I just put something down and I cut it, and it is what it is. I mean, it's fine. I think it looks okay. Like, I think this looks really cute. Like, I'd rather have like this one orange and then this one white, like the pattern continued. I would much rather have them uniformed like they are. When I mean uniform, I mean like straight across, okay? I would take this over them being the pattern and them not lining up. So, okay? I could have both, but at least I have it this way. Okay, moving on. Let's talk a little bit about this project. I wrote down notes. Okay, here they are. I said that. It makes sense why a lot of people don't make clothing out of towels. Number one, when I was cutting into it, little tiny fibers and towel bits littered the floor, and they still do. But I wanted the project to be done before I vacuumed, because if I vacuum, it's just gonna happen again. So because it's a towel material, doesn't cling, but it's a weird feeling, because usually when you wear like a sweater, the outside layer, like especially like a sweater like this, usually the outside layer is not the same as the inside layer, but for this, it's both. Feels kind of weird wearing a towel. It was pretty easy to sew with, so I'll give it that. It's just, I think going forward, if I were to do this again, which I do want to make more blanket coats, and I learned a lot from this, okay? So maybe the next time it won't be so frustrating. And I won't have to print out and cut out a pattern because I already have it. I think I will serge all the pieces individually and then put them through the sewing machine, because that comes to my next part, where the sides, at first, right here's the side, didn't line up when I put it through the serger. So what I ended up doing is this morning I went to both the sides. You can see the sides are evened up now. I showed you before how they weren't, and I unstitched it and I re-sewed it really well so it wouldn't fray, but I lined it back up. So I think going forward, if I were to do it, I would take every single piece and serge all of the edges and then bring it to the sewing machine and attach everything together. Maybe on like thinner projects, like say like I use a nice lightweight cotton, I probably could do the whole thing with the serger. But for a thicker piece like this, I don't think having them like squished together and put through the serger is a good idea. There's that. The pockets, I'm not 100% in love with the edges that I did. I think the pockets could have been a little bit neater. I also just didn't sew these flaps down just because of how thick they were. They weren't going through the sewing machine, so I know I have to hand sew them, but also I'm like, do I want to redo the pockets? Not for this video. I don't have time. Well, I kind of had time, but mentally, I did not have the time for this. So that's something that I probably will do in the future with maybe that, the other bias tape, this one that didn't really work out. So maybe what I would do is take the bias tape off of this, sew them down, and then take this bias tape and just put it flat and sew it flat down, if that makes sense. That might be something that I do in the future. I'm gonna say probably not, because I don't want to look at a sewing machine for maybe 2 more months. The other thing that I got into a little bit of a tiff, zipper is a little bit too long. But what I had to do is, if you look underneath here, I took the zipper, I went up, and I folded it over and I stitched that down, and then my collar hides it so you don't have to see it. Part of me was like, maybe I'll just cut the zipper like right here and then I'd have to stitch it up, and I'm like, well, maybe not. Let's not do that. And so I didn't, and I think that looks fine. The other thing is like this collar. Maybe I could have done a bit better on the bias tape. I don't know. I like using bias tape. I'm not the best at using it. Like, I know how you're supposed to use it, and I do it. But I think it was just this towel material was not really cooperating the way that I wanted to have it cooperate with me. The more I look at it, the more I realize I actually do really like it. It's just that, you know, when I start sewing and then something happens and then I just get in my head about it and I'm like, I don't ever want to touch a sewing machine again, even though I love my sewing machine. I just like crocheting better because I can sit in bed and watch TV and that relaxes me. Whereas a sewing machine, all you hear is the sewing machine noise. I hope I get to wear this time. I know last spring it got pretty warm pretty fast and I wasn't able to wear anything I wanted to wear, so maybe I'll get like at least a week out of this. It's the beginning of April, so I really hope so. I mean, like, it's so gosh darn cute. I think it did a pretty good job. If I wore this out, I don't think anybody would think that it was towels. I think people would probably think that I did make it though, because of the imperfections everywhere. But I mean, from far away, I think it looks pretty good. Okay, that does it for this video. If you're new to my channel, like sewing, thrifting, crafting, crocheting, why not hit the subscribe button? You can follow me on my Instagram, my TikTok, and of course my Patreons, where I upload some vlogs sometimes. And every time I do a tapestry crochet project, I put the pattern up there so y'all can do it at home. That does it for this video. I hope y'all have a good day now.